This is a demo for Bat and Bear College Days. Some of the assets and dialogue presented may be prone to change. Hello everybody! Welcome back. I am excited to see you, and I am excited to present Bat and Bear College Days. This is a game, or more accurately a demo of a game that is made by a good acquaintance of mine, Yonkbonkers. They've been working on this for a fair bit. It's still in the works, and I mainly decided that I wanted to at least show off the demo on this channel, considering that I also did their sequel to this game, Bat and Bear, earlier on the channel. Yonkbonkers is an amazing artist, an amazing game designer, at least so far from what I've seen, and I wanted to sort of show what I can do with them. So, if you do want to see more of Yonkbonkers, down below in the description, there's going to be a Linktree link where you can go and see their TikTok page, their Twitter, but more importantly, their itch.io page where you can download their games, and their Ko-fi page where you can make donations and support this growing game developer. I would say for these donations, you can either do something monthly where you can get access to certain things, or you can pay them a lump sum and get a commission. They've made a couple things for me. I only really learned about their art when they made me some fan art for my 25 subscriber special, but that's neither here nor there, and I'm sure you guys are really excited to see what this game holds. So, without further ado, we'll go ahead and start. I'm going to head to the preferences real quick to go ahead and get some stuff set up, but I'll go ahead and go to the thing once we get started. A lot could change in a month, but nothing changed between the two of them. Despite being roommates, the two hardly knew anything about each other. They never talked, hardly even acknowledged each other. At most, they'd exchange bitter faces while discussing chores. There was no connection. And to them, it's better that way. That harsh non-conformity of his was bedazzling, yet worrisome. Bear noticed it during their first reading week together in their dorms. Bat was haunting in the most curious way possible. Something to watch from afar, like a mysterious cryptid that had nested itself in the corner of the room. It was a breath of fresh air from the coddling bore that was suburban life. But behind that quiet and refreshing hostility of his was someone who'd tarnish the perfect life Bear needed to live. An accidental discordant note in an otherwise gorgeous piece. It was something he had to avoid if he was to survive. The life he lived was a utopian dystopia. He couldn't afford to fail. If he did, everything was bound to go wrong. I'd say we follow him along. He's got some stuff to work out. Bear groaned softly at the sunlight pooling in from the windows. He rubbed his eyes with the heels of his palms. Sitting himself upright, he yawned. From the look of things, Bat was already awake. Bear could faintly hear Bat's old earbuds bleeding sound, some old, gloomy song from a strange band he had never heard before. Bear paid him no mind. He carefully padded his way to the wardrobe, his size making his way there awkward and clumsy at times in the small space the two men shared. Bear turned his back to Bat, picking out something to change into. Bat paid him no mind as well. He expected as much. Quickly looking over his outfit, Bear grimaced. They weren't presentable enough. They had a few wrinkles in them. He knew that most people wouldn't notice them, but he did. And that meant at least one other person would notice it too. The words of his parents echoed dully in his ears. Only idiots would let something like that go unchecked. He'd have to steam it flat while he was showering. Bear peered over his shoulder at Bat. Bat was the antithesis of everything his parents brought him up to be. He was unruly, a disrespectful mess, a perfect example of imperfection, free to do anything but simply choosing to do nothing. Bear couldn't help but envy the wasted freedom he had. It was getting to a point where he started to quietly loathe him because of it. Whenever he watched the Bat stumble into the room, drunk in a mess, bottles and six-packs clinking under his arm, Bear'd silently grind his teeth. He had everything Bear could have ever wanted and was squandering it to drink alone. And it sickened him. Bear had swallowed down his resentments just to be civil enough to share space with him. He'd quietly offer him some leftovers to eat, keep a respectful distance, ask him how he was, though those were rare occurrences, just to be nice. Secretly, he was wishing for a reason to explode, and it seemed that Bat would give him one. He'd just have to wait. Bat soon noticed him staring. The two locked eyes for a second, Bear deflecting Bat's glare with a calloused look. Bear shouldered his cello case, adjusting the straps with his thumbs, and moved to the door, disappearing from the room before the embarrassment could reach him. Well, it's only one thing to click. Well, not thing. Person. People aren't things. Sitting in the shade of a tall tree, the friend of Bear gave a wave. Hey! Bear happily returned the wave and started towards his friend. Hey! Bear stopped, furrowing his brows. Wait. Boy or girl day? It's a nope day. Gotcha. Thanks, Ollie. Ollie, a short, sturdy otter, grinned at Bear, taking a sip from the drink. They pretty much vibrated with energy. All right, babes, I gotta tell you about this cute dude Looking over the cello case on their friend's back, they shook their head. Bear, babes, don't tell me you're gonna go practicing again. Well, the grind never stops, I guess. Ollie gave a pout. Boo, you nearly made your fingers fall off yesterday trying to perfect something that was already perfect. Technically perfect, whatever. You need to take a break, Sir Bear. But I don't need a break. Excuse me? Ollie put their free hand on their hip. They glared at Bear. Show me your hand. This is unnecessary. Arnie B. Fitzgerald, show me your hand. Reluctantly, Bear handed them both of his hands. Bitch. Babes, your hands are not looking cute. I mean, I don't think that's the only thing that isn't cute looking. Oh my god, shut up! Shut up! I swear, I'm going to smack the shit out of your brain. Quit saying that about yourself. Fine. The two took a pause. Ollie sat upright and huffed. Ollie was the type of friend that Bear never expected to have stuck around for so long, but was glad to still have around. Having met sophomore year of high school, the two had been through a lot, from standing ovations and quiet rehearsals to awkward comings-outs and minor acts of teenage rebellion. The only reason why his parents tolerated him was because they were a musical prodigy, much like himself. And with that tolerance was a friend who he could be somewhat himself with. Bear found a sense of comfort knowing that he had that freedom with them. Sit down for a bit. I'm gonna stand. Fine. Stand then. Just know I'm holding you hostage now. Bear groaned. So, how goes the roomie business? What, bad? He's kind of a prick. Tough nut, ain't he? Remind me why you hate him again? I don't know, Combing his fingers through the small tuft of fur on the top of his head, Bear fished for some words to articulate how he felt. He just then realized just how petty he was being. His cheeks flushed red. But actually, I don't hate him. It's just... He makes me jealous. Aha! There it is. What? What do you mean, there it is? You knew that already? Alright. So, here's the thing, babes. I can read you like a book, so it was pretty obvious to me. And you really don't know how to pinpoint what you're feeling, so you just chalk it up to the next best thing. What? I don't do that. Do I? Ollie shook their head, tutting their tongue. Seeing this, Bear sank. Sorry, but you do. Alrighty, so I do that. But what exactly am I supposed to do? I don't know. I'm not your therapist. I'm your bestie, babes. What do you think you need to do? Bear thought about it for a moment, adjusting the cello case on his back. He shrugged. I don't know. Ollie tapped their chin, also drawing blanks. Have you tried talking to him? Kinda, sorta. We only really talk about chores or whatever, so... Like, constantly? No. Like, every other week or so? Have you even tried to talk to him about something other than that? Yeah, Ollie, and I really don't think he'd even want to talk to me. Why? Did you, like, walk in on him jerking it or something? Bear made a face as he shook his head. What? No, I didn't. It's just that he seems to hate me. It was Ollie's turn to make a face. Elaborate on that, babes. I don't know, like, he always kind of looks at me like I'm annoying him, even though I haven't even done anything. I mean, I started doing it back, but... Fuck, now I'm also an asshole. Babes, shut the fuck up, and say it again without calling yourself an asshole. Oh, I did not. Alright. That just looks at me like I'm annoying him, even though I have not done anything. He tries to avoid me. He hardly talks, even when we do our semi-weekly talk on whose turn it is to clean the room or whatever. Ollie hummed. They drummed their fingers along the side of their to-go cup. I think you should talk to him more. I think I shouldn't. Ollie sighed, taking a long sip. They looked Bear in the eye, and Bear gave a pout. Fine, I'll talk. Hearing this, the otter instantly brightened up. Yes, babes! You talk to him and maybe bag yourself a goth baddie! I might, keyword might, talk to him after practice, but I can guarantee that I won't bag a goth baddie. Bag yourself a baddie after practice! Bear grimaced at the thought of him and Bat being anything more than just roommates. He turned away and started down the path to the music department. Bye, Ollie. Ollie, giggling behind their to-go cup, waved Bear off. Bye! I like them. Alone in the practice room, Bear forced himself to take a break. His fingers ached and his chest felt sore from bumping into his cello. Taking note of where he needed to better himself, Bear cursed under his breath. This part's too fucking slow. Christ. With a quick breath in, he pushed past the slight pain that came from him pressing the pads of his fingers into the strings and started up from the top. Bear was working himself to death. He was sure of it, but He had to if he was to make it through college without his life crumbling away from underneath his feet. That was drilled into him growing up. He had to be perfect. He needed to be perfect. He was the face of the family. They set him up to be the one to break the family out of their comfortable monotony into lavish notoriety. It was his duty as their son. They wouldn't love him if he failed. And who would love him if he was anything but perfect? Who would love him if he was anything but... Who would love you if you were anything but perfect? Bear flinched, his bow screeching against the cello strings, and stopped. Looking around to the corners of the room, he could feel his body tensing up. The room was painfully empty. Steadying himself, Bear repositioned his bow and took another breath in. Eyes burned into his back. A chorus of whispers and impossible expectations made him sweat bullets. One mistake and something catastrophic would happen. The need to perform felt crushing. He trained himself to ignore it, but his mind always had a way of making it known. He was 10 when he first became aware of it, his young and hyperactive imagination turning small sounds into little monsters in the corners of his vision. As he got older and the pressure from his parents grew, his little monsters became an amalgamation of things, and his fears became worse. Nightmares of the mundane turned twisted, paralyzing fits of anxiety, hiding from something that would always find him. Echoing demands from memories in his imagination. Do better. Do better. Shaking hands, clammy palms, Bear just needed to get this right. He shut his eyes, anxious to escape. One more measure left. The feverish drone of whispered expectations broke into silence. Bear gasped out for air. He'd done it. The adrenaline numbed the ache in his wrist and fingers, and he knew he had to tend to them later, but just for that moment, he basked in that small moment of reprieve. Silence was welcomed. Bear opened his eyes, feeling the oppressive, imagined stare disappear just as quickly as it came. And this is where Chapter 1 will start. Or at least, if it weren't the end of the demo. Sorry, guys. I can really relate to Bear, or at least so far I can, based on the experiences that need to do better. And so I'm extremely excited to see his story in Bat and Bear College Days when it fully comes out. Once again, I wanted to thank Yonkbonkers for releasing this demo. It's been out for a fair bit. And wanted to thank you all for watching. I was mainly doing this as a sort of in-between, I guess, because later on, this is going to be coming up during March, and the next Let's Play is also an indie game, and you guys... or the Let's Play that is currently being done is an indie game, and it's short, and it's just, I don't have enough episodes, and it's better to do this every so often than anything else. Well, I will definitely be playing the full game when it comes out, and next time you guys see me for this little mini-series, I'll be exploring the secondary option we could have taken. Anyway, I guess I'll see you then. Also, make sure to support Yonkbonkers. Do it. The link tree is down below. Do it!